is up? This is Smark Shooters. Welcome to Smark Shooters. It is the best there was, best there ever will be, best there is, all that stuff. I messed it all up, but it's okay because we're back for one more round of talking about the best in wrestling right now. Actually, you know what? Run it back. That's what we're going to do. We're going to run it back. I don't care. That's what we're going to do. We are allowed to do it. The bell did not ring. We're going to do it again. Welcome.
I swear it's like every other podcast. I swear.
The match never started.
It did. Wait. WWE gets away with it, right?
Yeah,
they get away with it, right?
It was not cashed in. Yeah.
It's like one cashed in. No, it wasn't. Like you have the ref do the
Right.
or whatever it is they do. Anyways, welcome to Smark Shooters, the best there was, the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be podcast in wrestling and sports entertainment, whatever Vince McMahon wants to call it this week. And I'm joined today by my co-host, the big boss, Kevin.
I just want to say I'm very happy that AEW keeps talking about wrestlers and not entertainers or sports entertainers or any of this stuff. I just want to throw that out there. Just maybe. What's up, everybody?
Also, we are joined by the limit break himself, Sean.
I don't have any catchy opening remarks, but how we doing?
I think we are doing fantastic. I think everybody should be doing fantastic because I feel like it is yet again, because we have on my side of the spectrum, I'm Ernie, Blur Without Fear. I don't think I introduced myself at all. It's been one of those kind of days. Anyways, I feel like, we had Comic-Con pass, and that was Christmas in July for comic book nerds. I also feel like, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. It felt like...
Yesterday. Yep.
Yeah, it felt like Christmas in July, but for wrestling fans. Because, what has been the big talk of the town? The big talk of the town has been... AEW, man, when are they going to come to TV? They're coming to TV in October. Okay, we know they're coming in October, but where are they going to be? And it's like, oh, well, they're going to be on TNT. And now it's like, oh, it's going to be on TNT. Well, what's the date? When the tickets going on sale? Is it going to be live? Are they going to be traveling when they do this? What? People have been asking all these questions, and guess what? We got answers now. We have definitive answers when it's going to be going down. And if I am not mistaken, what is it? October the 2nd?
2nd. Yep.
And it's going to be, is it in, I think it's
Washington.
in D.C. Like Washington,
Yep.
D.C., not Washington State, right?
Yep.
And it is going to be at the Capital, I think it's the Capital One Arena. Or
Yep.
it may be the Capital One Center or
or
something like that.
Yeah.
You know what? All these people and their crazy names, I don't like it. When can we go back to having like just the Coliseum or the Pyramid instead of like the Little Caesars Dome or or the the Tostitos bowl or whatever. I don't know. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. But the good news is the very good news is AEW, AEW, as it has been affectionately called online and even in the arena to some degree. This is great because originally I think they were slated as Tuesday, because they filed trademark for Tuesday Night Dynamite originally, and that was what got people excited. It's like, oh, they're gonna go head to head with SmackDown, and that's not really the case. They're gonna be going head to head, oddly enough, with NXT. Which is technically NXT is closer.
The closest thing to them.
Yeah, NXT is like in style and presentation, production value. NXT is their closest competition. Not so much WWE. It's not even close. And I mean that in favor of AEW. But so Wednesday Night Dynamite is expected to be the name, I'm assuming, because they did file a trademark for that. They are really married to the Dynamite, which I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But what do you guys think? Like, what are you like? What are your thoughts? Are you let down that they kind of stepped away from the Tuesday night deal and towards the Wednesday night deal, or do you not even care about that? Are you excited? Like, what's going on? Tell me. I want ideas. Tell me. Let's Sean. Let's start with you. Sean.
So I'm actually pretty happy. I think Wednesday's perfect. I like that they're at least somewhat throwing down the gauntlets and having a little bit of head-to-head competition with the WWE in terms of NXT. I'm glad they're not jumping right into it and going up, against Raw or SmackDown. I think that would be stupid.
Pull a
Maybe
TNA.
someday, exactly. But maybe someday we'll get Monday night or maybe even Tuesday night wars. But I think Wednesday's perfect. It's I cannot. I'm so freaking excited for this. Like I just can't. I can't wait. It's going to be so good. I'm honestly, I'm over the moon excited for this. Now, one thing I just thought of, I don't know if it was mentioned, but it just popped into my head when you were discussing all. Do we know, have we gotten confirmation this is live?
Yes, it is going to be live.
Okay.
It is going to be as far as I am aware. All I have heard from Big Papa Dave Meltzer is that it will be live. I think I've even seen Cody say something about it too, and the cons have kind of alluded to that as well. But I do want to say it's going to be live.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and go out on a limb and say this may be a bit out there, but I don't care. I'm going for it. October 2nd, because I do think they will go all out.
Oh yeah.
AEW wins the ratings war that week.
Oh yeah. Easy.
Now they may not keep it up week after week, but I think that week, I think they're winning the ratings war that week.
Yeah. I can see that.
I think they are going to pull out all the stops, and I mean, unless WWE somehow has a major turnaround in the next barely 2 months, I'm going to say AEW, especially being on a major network like that.
Oh yeah.
I think AEW takes it. Now, when does SmackDown go to Fox?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's the end of October, I think. Like
it's not till the end of the month.
25th or 6th or something.
Something along those lines. Yeah, but it won't be. AEW will still kind of be in closer proximity than what they will be later.
And do we know? Is it 2 hours?
I think it's only 2 hours.
It's 3.
No, not 3 hours. I think it's only.
They're not dumb enough to go to 3 hours. There's no way.
No, 2 hours is the sweet spot. It's right where they should be.
Hell, I'd be okay if it was 1, honestly.
Honestly, yeah. In the beginning, that's probably fine.
Well, I one thing I will say, and then we'll toss it. I'm gonna toss it over to you, Kev. Is that as a fan of NXT, as a guy who's like diehard NXT, the thing I love about NXT is that it's an hour long, and when it's over, it makes me wish there was a second hour. So if AEW went for 1 hour, that would be perfect to me, because it's kind of like comedy. Like if you ever hear any comedian tell you what the number one rule of comedy is don't overstay your welcome and leave them wanting you to come back. Leave them wanting more of you. Like, it's okay to leave some stuff on the table, and that is what NXT is really good at. So even if AEW went 1 hour, I think it would be fine. But if they went 2 hours, I wouldn't be angry about that either.
Well, the other thing that's good is, for a fact, there will be way more actual wrestling in 2 hours than Raw will ever have over the course of 3 hours.
Oh, God.
So it's going to be actual wrestling, not stupid, just horribly scripted backstage segments and
in-ring promos
with Ben Gay and their jock straps or whatever. Like, it's going to be 2 hours of wrestling.
How about a 15-minute segment of Maria Kanellis emasculating Mike Kanellis? How about that? How does that make us feel?
I will say, though, shout out to Eve Torres, because like Brandon Stroud said, she's like aging in reverse. Yeah. I think I didn't appreciate her when she was a wrestler. This is a complete tangent, but I didn't appreciate her when she was an active wrestler. But like since she left, she's been all into is it Roy Gracie or whatever? I forget the
Royce Gracie. Yeah. He has a really weird name. It's like it's technically. I think it's
pronounced Hoist.
It's Hoist. It starts with an R. It starts with an R, but it's pronounced with an H.
Hoist Gracie.
But like, I think she would fit in well now. I used to think of her as more a Divas era, like female wrestler, but I think
she could hold her own.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, and she improved so much when she was in WWE, and then everything she's done after, like she can go. So, anyways.
Well, I guess while we're still on that though, Kev, what are your thoughts on the TV deal, the TV announcement from AEW? Well, like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think Wednesday's perfect.
Mhm.
I get why they didn't do Tuesday, because for like Sean brought up there, for like 3 weeks or so, they would have been going head to head with SmackDown. And I don't
Right.
think, when you're just, no matter how much buzz there is around us wrestling nerds, you don't want to go up against the big dog, Roman
No.
Reigns. Well, actually, he is on SmackDown. You don't want to go up against the big dog when you're starting out on TV. So Wednesday night is perfect.
Mm.
I'm glad they didn't call it Wednesday Nitro. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
God.
sure WWE owns that name anyways.
Yeah.
And there's no way
Yeah.
Cody would have gone for that.
No.
But I just had to bring Dynamite is a weird name. I'd almost rather just call it AEW. Whatever.
Yeah. AEW. Yeah, I can't think of a name.
Wednesday night Wrestling. I don't know.
Wait, Wednesday night wrestling.
Wrestling. That's what they're going to do, is wrestling. But the other thing y'all got to remember, don't forget that way back in the day when Nitro was trying to beat Raw, they went to 3 hours way before WWE ever did this.
Yeah,
show
they
crap,
did.
And then just turning into 3 hours. Like,
I honestly don't
3 hours
really
doesn't-
remember. I don't remember Nitro being 2 hours. It seems like it was 3 hours for as long as I can remember.
It
No,
does
it
feel
was-
that way, but yeah, it was 2 hours at
It
first,
was.
and
they
then
went
they
to
switched
3,
to 3.
and then I think they went back to 2.
Well, because
Okay.
I think because they started, what they did is they started an hour ahead of Raw. So
Yeah.
that way,
Oh,
and then what
that's
they would
right.
do is, so by the time Raw was ready to come on, you were already watching Nitro, and that was how you got into that whole debacle where Bischoff would reveal the script
That'll put some
for
buses.
WWE. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm one thing I definitely will say. I don't like the name,
Yeah.
the Tuesday night, or even the Wednesday night Dynamite. I think it's kind of hokey. Whatever.
Yep.
But you know what? It does give off the feeling of that old school
Yeah.
territory days wrestling, where you would have like Saturday night main event, Sunday night heat, Monday Nitro, Monday night Raw, Thursday night. God, the days when SmackDown used to come on Thursdays. Wow.
See.
Wow.
And Thunder as well.
Yeah,
But,
WCW Thunder, yeah.
That's the thing. Like, what I loved most about this announcement, I think, was that trailer that they released, that 3-minute trailer. Like, I had goosebumps watching that. And it's TNT. It felt like a TNT drama. Like, TNT is really good at trailers. I don't watch any of their shows, but when I see the trailers, I'm like, it's
You
very
should
good.
be watching them, but you're not.
Right, exactly. But like, that trailer just absolutely gave me chills, honestly. And it's like, I am, like Sean said, I am so freaking excited. Like, at this point, I don't want to ever miss an episode of AEW, whatever it's called, Dynamite, whatever.
Yep.
Unless they prove me wrong, which I don't know that they will.
Mhm.
But like Ernie, like you were
Yeah.
saying about leaving them wanting more, Raw after 2 hours never makes me want to watch the third hour. 3
Right.
hours is absolutely insane. I'm glad SmackDown at least is staying 2 hours when they go to Fox, because there was talk that it might go to 3 and all that stuff. But I'm glad they're staying 2 hours. I think 2 hours, like Sean said, is the sweet spot. 1 hour actually to start out would probably be nice, just because you
Get
gotta
people
in.
used to it. Get people used
Exactly.
to it.
Yep.
But I'm so excited. I cannot wait for All Out. I'm more SummerSlam's looking like it's gonna be pretty decent. I'm sure we'll get to some of that here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm even more excited. The card so far, like we talked about last week for All Out, is just absolutely insane at this point. Like, oh my God. And then you still got like what, 5-6 weeks after that before they go on TV. I'm sure there won't be another pay-per-view before they show up on TV.
I think they'd be wise to not do anything on pay-per-view
Yep.
betwn All
Like-
Out and television.
They
I think it'd be
shouldn't,
wise.
yeah.
Yeah. Stay
Like you
off
said,
the air.
just
Stay off
wanting
the
more.
air. Yeah. Just well, okay. Look now. Actually, you know what? I guess I know we got. Whew. We do have the Raw reunion to talk about, but real quick, I want to ask y'all a question, because this kind of came up because I think I've talked about this on the show since we've started, but I am a follower of Jim Cornette. I listen to his podcast a lot because it's just a thing of beauty. Sometimes it's a train wreck, and sometimes it's just wonderful. But because Jim Cornette's one of those personalities. He's considered one of AEW's biggest critics. But he always prefaces it by saying that he wants them to succeed. So he hopes that they change things that he doesn't like. But my question, and it did actually get me thinking. The biggest criticism I've really heard anyone talk about with AEW is the buy-in shows, the pre-shows for their pay-per-views. Now, that being said, it's mostly just in regards of that, like, sometimes they have matches that don't work, or they have, like, these, okay, case in point, the Librarians, which I didn't mind it so much at Fight for the Fallen and I didn't really mind it so much at Fyter Fest. I did think it was a little weird at Double or Nothing, but I mean, it was just a backstage gimmick. They were just being funny. But they had the whole thing. What was it? Mike Nakazawa versus was it Jabali? And there have been people I've seen, like, on Twitter, social media, whatever. They'll talk about how, like, the buy-in show. They have these weird matches, yada yada yada. But the thing is, even when the matches are kind of weird, I still enjoy them more than the pre-shows for WWE. Like, as weird as some of the stuff may be in it, or maybe the matches don't always work, I'm still more entertained than if I would be sitting down watching I'm sorry, it's not a pre-show, it's a kickoff show for, Money in the Bank, Stomping Grounds, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, whatever. I want to get y'all's opinions on that before we moved on to the Raw reunion.
I think people need to shut up. I think it's better to have, kind of like what you were saying, I think it's almost better to go in the route of different and entertaining to get people to turn into the kickoff buy-in, whatever you want to call it, show. Because right now WWE has trained us that the kickoff show doesn't matter. Like, when you if you actually watch the kickoff show for even the biggest pay-per-view, even WrestleMania, there's like 200 people in the arena. No one's showing up because they know the actual pay-per-view is going to be 4.5 hours once it actually kicks off. So just and then when you do something, now WWE did the whole thing where, Finn lost the title to Shinsuke, maybe you should turn in, is what they're trying to get us to do. No, that's just stupid. And Finn wants time off. Like, I think I don't have a problem with that at all. Like, it's tough to sit down and watch 4 or 5 hours of wrestling, even no matter how much you love it. So I think to do something different on their pre-show, I don't have a problem with that at all. And I love Jim Cornette, but I don't.
Oh, no. I don't agree with this AEW stuff.
I just don't think that's a good take. My only problem so far with AEW, like I said last week or the week before, whenever it was Cody taking that chair shot. And, again, they came out and they said it was a gimmick chair and it wasn't supposed to happen. Just don't try to go so violent that you turn into like 90s ECW, because I don't have the stomach for that anymore, and I don't think they're going to. That was not the plan. The plan was, yes, an unprotected chair shot. However, it's a gimmick chair. It wasn't supposed to wrap around his freaking head.
Right.
Bust him open on the back of the head.
Right.
No, I don't like that take. I don't like that one bit.
What about you, Sean? What are your thoughts?
So I don't really listen to Cornette's podcast. I don't really have an opinion on him one way or another. But to me, that comment, that statement reeks of him basically just being a Vince guy. And he probably thinks WWE right now is as good as it's ever been. Oh no,
he hates WWE. He actually does hate. He's for lack of a better way to put it, he's a fuddy-duddy. He wants the old NWA, like territory, which I'm sorry, it's never coming back. It's not coming back. AEW is as close as you'll ever get, but that's his thing, is that he doesn't like WWE. He thinks WWE is the shit. And I mean that in the most negative way humanly possible. Not in a good way. He just doesn't like, and he also doesn't like the people involved with it other than Cody. He's not a fan of the Bucks. He's not a fan of Kenny Omega. Well, case in point.
I can't take anything he says seriously.
Exactly.
So I guess my thoughts as far as the pre-show goes, what I will say about AEW, and this goes even into their, I don't even want to call it Dynamite. I kind of just want to call it their TV show.
Just AEW. It's just AEW.
Yeah. I cannot wait to see AEW's weekly programming, even if it is 2 random people that I don't even remember from the Battle Royal at Double or Nothing, who maybe some people know. I probably don't. I would love to see pick literally any two of them and have them just wrestle just for the heck of it on TV, and I'm all in. As opposed to going to Raw and seeing Braun Strowman versus a jobber, or like,
oh, you mean like a squash match?
Or not even a squash match, even if it's just a random.
That was just a dig at Raw reunion. Sorry.
Like, I'm trying to think of. I can't even think of an example, but like, he's not even around anymore. But like Jinder Mahal versus like Apollo Crews or something.
Well,
yes, exactly.
But you can build on that.
But they don't.
Yeah, but they don't.
AEW, I feel like I would love to watch any kind of match they'll put on, because I'm already invested in it, and I don't care about all these, like you said, throwaway matches in WWE, which seems to be all we get. That being said, going to the pre-show stuff or kickoff show, what I will say about AEW, it kind of seems like they are. I'm trying to think of how to put this. They're almost treating their pre-show. It's like they're planning for their pre-show. Whereas WWE is just like, here's a bunch of matches for this pay-per-view. We have too many. Throw a couple of them on the pre-show, and that's that. Whereas AEW seems to have a purpose to what they put on the pre-show and how they script it and all that. Now, the only difference I would say maybe is WrestleMania, where you have like the Battle Royal and stuff like that.
The arm bar.
On a pre-show. That kind of stuff. It seems like WrestleMania, there's very much a pre-show and then the pay-per-view, whereas most of our other pay-per-views are just, we have too many matches, pick the cruiserweights and one or two, pick a tag team match and maybe some other random match and just throw on the pre-show, and that's that. Whereas AEW seems to have a purpose to their pre-show. It's on the pre-show for a reason, and it plays out a specific way because it's on the pre-show.
That's, I and that's something I can agree with. Like really, I think the only match that they did in a probably the only match I can really think of that I just kind of thought was like, this doesn't really have a place here, is like when they did Fyter Fest, and it was Michael Nakazawa versus Jabali. I was kind of I probably could have done without that one, but it wasn't. But I also knew what Fyter Fest was. Like, Fyter Fest was not a typical pay-per-view of AEW. It was something they were doing in conjunction with the video game tournament that was going on, the video game convention that was going on at that time. Kind of like how Fight for the Fallen is not a typical pay-per-view for AEW. It was a benefit pay-per-view they were doing. So it's one of those things, I kind of think some people are being unfair when they talk about like, oh, well, the this, that, and the third. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, okay, full disclosure, I've watched Fight for the Fallen 4 times now. I've watched Fyter Fest probably about as many times. I've watched Double or Nothing, and I kid you not when I say this, no less than 12 times. And here's the thing. Can I say that about any WWE pay-per-view that has come out in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years? No!
Go back.
Honestly, I can't even think of a match typically that I care to watch.
The only one in the recent years is WrestleMania 30, just because I watched Daniel Bryan's match.
So what I will say,
beating Taker.
I'm trying to think of when these each happened, but the only ones that stick out in my mind as far as a match, basically since I got back into wrestling, which was like fall 2015, the only matches I can really think of that have happened that I was like, I need to watch that again, are Cena and Styles at the Rumble.
Yeah.
I think I almost want to say they also had another good one. That was SummerSlam.
It was SummerSlam before that.
That,
AJ won. Yeah.
Those two
win back and get the title.
Right. Those two, and then I think honestly a month before that, totally random, Zayn and Owens at Battleground.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Like, I can't think of any. Those are the only ones that jump out at me as far as matches that I'm like, holy crap, I need to watch that again.
That's the thing. You're saying matches, not pay-per-views.
Right.
Well, yeah, I'm just talking matches.
Exactly.
I'm not getting
That's
into
what I'm saying.
pay-per-view. But yeah, not even matches that I care to see again.
Well, like TakeOver. I have watched multiple NXT TakeOvers more than several times. As many times as I've watched any AEW pay-per-view up to this point. What was it, TakeOver? I think it was TakeOver New York 2. which was the one that was in conjunction with last year's WrestleMania. Dude, I've watched, I think, like, at least 8 to 10 times, because it's infinitely shorter. It's like, I think 3, maybe 4 hours tops. 5 matches on the card, done. I'm in, I'm out, and every match is a 5-star match, pretty much. So yeah,
there's no throwaways.
No, and that's kind of my thing. I just want people to kind of be cool. Just be cool. Just let's just wait. Let's just wait and see. Because All Out, I can go ahead and tell you, is going to be a barn burner. It's going to be a barn burner.
That's the thing. I feel like a lot of people have already forgotten or are lying to themselves about how good Double or Nothing was.
Oh, yeah.
And Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen didn't quite live up to that. And that's, prisoner of the moment. That's what they associate with AEW. And it's like, okay, these are not full-fledged pay-per-view events. These are like
in your house.
There's a reason why they're free.
Exactly.
There's a reason why they're free.
They were still entertaining, but think back to how good Double or Nothing was, and All Out will probably be that.
Yeah.
Maybe even better. Honestly, I'm not expecting it to be better. If it is, I'll be pleasantly surprised. But like, if it's as good as Double or Nothing, that's a huge win, if you ask me.
Yeah. Have either of y'all seen All In from the year prior? Okay.
No, I've just seen the highlights. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All In is a better pay-per-view than most WWE pay-per-views. Yeah. I'm just saying. But yeah, I just want people to really be realistic about it and understand. Like, I think there's a lot of people who are forgetting that you're watching AEW has given us 2 things WWE has not given us, and that is 2 back-to-back free pay-per-views with great storytelling, despite the fact that they're glorified benefit shows. Yeah. They are glorified benefit shows. Okay, Smackville. Is Smackville going to do this for me? I think not. I think not. Anyways, I guess, it's now time. Let's talk about the Raw reunion. Okay, so I'm going to be brutally honest with y'all. I didn't hate the Raw reunion. But damn it, I did not love it.
So
I didn't like it.
I watched. It's the first time I've watched an entire 3 hours of Raw in months.
Same.
I will say, I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I know it's like junk food. It's not the kind of thing like if I eat Taco Bell for dinner, I'll enjoy it. But I'm like,
for a little bit.
Good.
Later on, you won't.
Yeah, short term, I enjoyed it.
You're gonna hate yourself later.
And that's kind of how I feel about it. Like, I will say I enjoyed it. I'm not going to say it's good programming.
No,
but I enjoyed it. But I don't think I'm enjoying it for the right reasons, because all it's doing is making me long for those days. And it's like, it does not make me want to tune into WWE any more than I was. Like, yeah, it's a ratings grab, and they probably had one boost for like the week of Raw ratings, and that's it. It's not going to carry over. Nobody's going to watch that and be like, oh, I'm going to start watching Raw again, because that had nothing to do with Raw.
No, it did not
at all. So I think a lot of I could see it coming from a mile away. That's how they got a majority of the legends, whatever you want to call them, involved, is just in the whole 24/7 storyline. And it worked. I get it. It's an easy way to just get them on screen. And
it's a paycheck. It's a paycheck.
Exactly. But what I will say, I had legit goosebumps at the end when Stone Cold came out, and I'm just like, he's maybe not the best. He's not the best in-ring performer, but that is, I don't care about Hulk Hogan. I don't care about The Undertaker. Stone Cold, in these Stone Cold days, the best wrestling character I think we've ever had, and will probably ever have. Like, we will never get that good again. And he looks exactly the same. Like, the crowd was over the top popping for him. Like, it just, and I loved it, but my God, it just, I loved it. And while at the same time, it made me just, I don't want to say hate, but it made me just be that much more upset with the current state of WWE programming, because I could see how good it used to be and how far we've come since then, in not a good way.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I will take what you just said and I'll raise you a couple of things real quick, and then Kevin, I'm gonna let you give your thoughts, because I know you got thoughts. I know we've kind of.
I got thoughts.
We've I know you got some thoughts. One thing that the Raw reunion did that I think it didn't hit me as well as I think it could have is because since Raw has been, so awful, I've actually done this little pet project where each week I go back and watch an old Raw from like back in the day. And here's the problem. We lived in a generation where two of the best promos in wrestling, not just WWE history, I'm talking wrestling history, were alive and working at the exact same time, and that's Stone Cold and The Rock. They literally are, and to this day, I would dare say, very few people are even within so much as a country mile of being as good as either The Rock or Stone Cold. Very few. There are not... I could maybe think of and I'd have to struggle to do it, maybe I could count on one hand the number of people who would probably be within like a country mile of being as good as them. But yeah, just go, if you go back, I actually recommend anybody, if you are sour on Raw and you have the WWE Network, just go ahead. The best usage of the WWE Network is reliving the glory days.
Yup.
Go back and watch those old Raws when they would start up. It would start off so they'd hit somebody's music. Stone Cold or The Rock or Vince McMahon or Triple H or somebody is coming out to the ring. Someone's going to talk some trash. We're going to have a match. We're going to get a story. We're going to have some matches in between. The Intercontinental title will be seen on television. We'll probably get a good tag team match or two. But yeah, just go back and do that. But yeah.
So one quick thing, total tangent here, but
yeah.
WWE has increased, regardless of their product, their production values have gone up consistently.
They're second to none. Yes.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't think anyone can touch them on.
Right.
Even AEW. AEW's production values, though good, are not anywhere near close to WWE's.
No. Why have we gotten away? And I'm guessing it's the almighty dollar.
Always.
Why have we gotten away from? It's such a small thing, but like nobody. And I think Kevin and I was it. It was probably when I was over there for whatever just happened. Not Battleground, whatever the last one was.
Stomping Ground, or
oh yeah,
no. Or was there something else after Stomping Ground?
No, there's
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules.
I was going to say,
God, that's how bad it is.
For Extreme Rules, and Kevin, I think you mentioned this. Like, why have we gotten away from entrance videos?
Yeah,
everybody had their own thing, but now it's literally just like their name and like some kind of like Microsoft Word art, and maybe it like spins every so often. And like that's like I remember the days of like having like everybody had their own individual entrance video. And not to mention way above and beyond that, my God, I miss every pay-per-view having their own unique stage setup.
Yep.
Now they don't look any different than like Raw and SmackDown. Like
they all look the same.
Oh,
every pay-per-view is just a bigger budget Raw.
Yes.
SmackDown and Raw, they look the same. But the SmackDown and Raw
lights blue, red. Yeah, exactly.
Though I do appreciate that they are starting to turn the lights down in the crowd the way NXT does.
Yep.
Which
that's
is something they always should have done.
Presentation.
Yeah. Kevin, what are some of your initial thoughts on this?
So I got some thoughts, but then I got to go back. Ernie, you were making me think. There's only 3 people that I can think of. I've got, when it comes to promos, Jericho. As I've always said when we used to do this on our podcast, the top 10 wrestler. He's a top 10 wrestler of all time, but I think he's also the most underappreciated or underrated wrestler of all time as well. And I don't know how that's possible. Jericho could talk. Cena, when he's motivated and not being corny, I think he actually showed up The Rock a couple of times because
Yeah.
the whole it's on your hand and all that other stuff. But when Cena's motivated, that dude can talk. And Punk. And
Yes.
I'm not going to talk about Punk. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I don't care what the interview said. Like I just tweeted a little bit ago, if he was going to show up at AEW, do you really think he'd tell people?
No.
I know I'm just hopeful, but whatever. The other thing, talking about the old Raws is, so yeah, like you brought up a lot of the old Raws, like what Raw and SmackDown do now, every time they start with 15 or 20 minutes of an authority figure out there talking, setting up matches when it's like Brandon Stroud always points out, I'm going to bring him up every podcast just because he's awesome. We'll get him on here one day, I promise. But they were taught back in the day, we still had show opening promos, but they served a purpose. They furthered storylines. It wasn't just Shane talking to just hear himself talk, or Angle, or I mean, Angle back in the day, or Corbin or Stephanie or Triple H.
Actually, an Angle wasn't a bad promo either.
No, Angle was good. Oh, back in the I'm just
back in his day,
Kurt.
Yeah.
Make your ankle hurt.
Oh, God, that was so good. Okay.
Anyway.
But so with this show, I said many times when we did our prediction shows over on our channel at youtube.com/2playercoop, like, subscribe, share, that I wanted the TV title to come back. I wanted WWE to introduce a championship like WCW used to have. Every time there's a show on TV, Raw, SmackDown, or pay-per-view, it gets defended, period. Do a 10-minute time limit. I think WCW used to do that, 10 or 15-minute time limit.
10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, like we talked about last week with AEW doing time limits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They almost kind of did that with the 24/7 championship, except
it's a comedy belt.
It's just stupid.
Yes.
It's just slapstick comedy. It's the worst looking belt I've ever seen in my life. And I hated everything about it this week. I was just like, why the hell Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe and Kelly and Candice Michelle?
Alundra Blaze.
I didn't even know that was Medusa.
I didn't know who that was.
I was like, I don't know, until they said Alundra Blaze is the champion. I was like, that's Medusa? How the hell did that happen? Again, I haven't seen her in probably 20 years, but it's just weird. But it's like, $1 Million Man can buy the title. Doesn't that make him a WWE champion?
And I called that
it back in the day. Like,
I called it. I called that moment. I knew the second they were bandying that belt around, $1 Million Man was going to wind up buying it because I knew he was there.
So I hate the 24/7 title. It's just, I love R-Truth. I love that dude so much. I wish he would have held the U.S. title a lot longer than he did. I thought he should have held it into WrestleMania and probably past then because he was doing such great work. He's awesome. I hate the 24/7 title. I'm just sick of it. It's whatever. The legends on this, man, it just made me realize, like y'all have said, it made me long for the good old days, but it also made me realize WWE has to give us a reason to care about the product as it stands now. You can't once a month be trotting out all these old legends. And then Sean was on SmackDown. We'll get to that in a bit. And I did love that because he's my favorite wrestler of all time. But like, you can't keep trotting out these old guys. And it was weird to see Road Dogg without Billy Gunn because Billy's in AEW and all that other stuff. But like, we got to get away from the retirement home. Like, you've got to give people a reason to care about this product. And they're not doing that. It's like, ratings suck, bring out all the superstars, whatever. And now they're going back to MSG in September, I think, for Raw and SmackDown.
And the tickets are not selling.
Really?
The tickets, they're not selling the way they want them to. And I want to touch on something you just said. You said something that really leapt out at me, Kevin. You were talking about the legends. Okay, so I don't know if y'all know this or not. I don't know. I think Brandon Stroud talked about this. I believe so. The fact that the show backstage changed so much from minute to minute, like Vince was rewriting things on the fly because the people they brought back, none of them were really cleared to wrestle. Like, okay, so I want to point something out. I mean, well, with the exception, they did have wrestlers who were medically cleared to wrestle. They just didn't use them. I'm gonna go ahead and point at the most egregious one is that WWE has finally gotten the balls to bring back Melina, one of the greatest women's champions in WWE history, and you brought her back to do a 3 count?
To be a ref. Yeah.
To be a ref in a comedy bit? Are you insane? Melina, first off, I watched Melina in a match against Sonny Kiss no less than 6 months ago. and it was freaking amazing. Melina can still go.
Yeah.
She still has it. She can still wrestle. She is out there still wrestling. She just doesn't wrestle for WWE. Now, okay, so you take that into consideration, all right? Okay, you want to know what really kicked me in the heart? Was Ron Simmons.
Damn.
Like, just literally, and just watching him kind of get wheeled out, and I'm just like, I'm done. I don't care about any of this. Okay, you know what? If you want to wheel out the retirement home, do it at the Hall of Fame. Bring these guys out the Hall of Fame so they can actually have a real moment, have something genuine, something that people actually care about, the way that we cared when Brett was up there on stage sending off Jim the Anvil Neidhart, or when DX was putting respect on Chyna's name, when Harlem Heat was out there and they took the time to say, hey, none of this would have been possible if not for Sensational Sherry. That's the type of stuff that I care about. If you're going to bring these people out, I don't look, you're going to bring Christian out. Okay, first off, you know what? Now that we're talking about it, screw it. Let's just talk about it. I hate 3-man announce teams.
Yeah.
And they need to go. But you know what I hate more than the 3-man announce team? 4-man announce team. Can we be done with that? Can we cut that out? I'm done with it. It's not good. It sucks. And Christian, what's the point of having him out there? He can't even talk. Yeah. He can't even talk because you got a 3-man announce team and you're constantly interrupting him when he's trying to cut a promo. You know what? Yeah. Actually, I've changed my mind. I didn't love it. I actually didn't even like it. The more I keep talking about it, the more I realize I freaking hated it. So yeah.
So two more things I want to bring up that I hated before I talk about the one thing that I actually freaking loved. Why the hell Kurt Angle, Hurricane Helms, Sergeant Slaughter, and RVD are helping? What the hell? Why? And Sami Zayn, I don't know if his tweet after the fact.
Y'all remember that staple?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if Sami Zayn's tweet after it was kayfabe or not. I'm sure it was kayfabe. And he's like, I'm sick of this. If I'm holding on when I'm that age, whatever. That was so stupid. And why in the hell? Like I talked about either last week or the week before. I hate the name of the club. I hate the OC more. Are you freaking kidding me?
Okay, so what does it stand for? Is it the only club, the original club, or what is
Apparently it stands for 3 or 4 O's is what freaking AJ said. Now I will say the shirts actually look kind of cool. The shirts look cool, but the name is stupid. Like Brandon Stroud was saying, when's One Tree Hill going to come in and fight these guys? Like this is so stupid. It makes absolutely no sense. It turns them almost, it makes me look at them, as much as I didn't like the club name and I wish they could just buy the Bullet Club or whatever, and that'll never happen. I get that, but like come up with a different name. This is not what I meant. I did not mean come up with the OC.
A dumb name.
Kidding me.
Okay, also, you know what? Because now that you brought it up, I want to talk about something else that I found problematic. Which, by the way, can we talk about the death of Samoa Joe's career?
I wrote down in my notes, I don't care about Joe. I'm done caring about Joe. I also wrote that for SmackDown. I'm done.
Yeah,
and it's not his fault.
No. It's not his fault. And let me preface because I don't want Joe to come to my house and kill me. Because I do believe he's a legitimate killer. But the thing is, you literally had this man. Because here's the thing. Here's what I loved about it. I'm gonna do the compliment sandwich. I'm gonna try to at least. So when Joe comes out and he's cutting a promo on the Legends, talking about how you're talking about nostalgia, and I was like, dude, yes, you are saying everything I'm thinking right now. And then Roman Reigns comes out and it's like, oh, here comes the big dog. And it's like, okay, well, all right, now we got to have this thing. And he's like, hey, you're talking about my family. I hear you're talking all this stuff. And he's like, I hear you got stuff to say about my family. And the one good thing that came out of that promo was when Joe looked him in the eyes and said, I don't have anything to say about your family because I've already said what I wanted to say about your family or something along those lines. I was like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. Can we please, now can you just start fighting? Just start fighting right now. But the thing is, you've now made Samoa Joe a joke. You have now hurt his legitimacy by, kind of making him a coward. That's something they've been doing with him a lot lately. You've made him a coward. You've made him basically turn into a jobber because pretty much I don't think Joe's won a match in months. So why should I care about this guy if you don't? If WWE, let him go. Let him go. Wins and losses.
Yeah.
They say wins and losses don't matter. I beg to differ. Samoa Joe take him off TV. Give him 6 months to a year off, and then bring him back. Because right now I don't care. I would much rather see him elsewhere. In regards to the OC,
it's just so stupid.
It feels terrible to say. Okay, here's the thing. Did you guys know Seth Rollins was not originally supposed to be in that match?
I saw that. It was supposed to be Ricochet.
It's supposed to be Ricochet.
His elbows infected and stuff, yeah.
Right. Okay, so first off, you have Seth Rollins come out earlier in the day and cut one of the worst promos I've ever seen in my life. And
I hate his character right now, and I almost want Brock to be
sick of him.
I hate Brock, but Seth, the way they're writing him, he was so perfect in the run up to WrestleMania.
Yes.
Ever since then, they have completely dumped his character in the
He's
toilet.
garbage.
But he's a company man, and this is the best wrestling on the planet, and whatever. So he's not going to say anything. Like, his character sucks right now.
Did y'all know that he's actually a worse draw as a champion than Jinder Mahal?
Oh my God.
And I believe it. Nobody wants to see Seth Rollins because what happened to the fiery babyface?
Corbin.
Jesus Christ!
I mean, that's part of the problem.
Did Baron Corbin didn't show up on the Raw reunion? Did he? I don't remember seeing
He
him.
wasn't there.
That was probably for the best. That was probably for the best. But the OC, one thing I gotta say is, okay, as bad as everything was, you've already taken your heel stable that is supposed to be the new big bad stable in WWE. Now you've made them a joke because they're scared of a bunch of geriatric men. Shawn Michaels, who can't even see straight, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of his lazy eye, but it's just, it's a fact. It's a fact. Was it Scott Hall, who could barely walk?
Oh.
Kevin Nash is probably the only one in that ring other than Triple H who could have actually been like, all right, let's do this.
And he had knee surgery
if he
4 or 5 months ago.
Right. So you got these guys. So now it's these 3 guys who are scared of these other guys. And then you got Seth freaking Rollins in the ring talking like a freaking geek. No one talks like that. Like, no. And then he's...
Not to mention, he's called the Kingslayer because he beat Triple H, and now Triple H is saving him. Like, I get that Ricochet was hurt and you just had to slide somebody in, but you should have done that differently. There was a million other ways you could have done, to get those guys out there, but like, I hated it.
This was probably one of the worst Raws I've... Like, the more I keep talking to, the more I realize, like, how much I hate it. It's like, at first I was like, you know what, Sean, you were right. Raw reunion was like Taco Bell. It was good going down.
Yes,
but I think this is the visit to the crapper afterwards.
Yeah. I want to say one more thing. Go ahead. There was really one thing that I liked on Raw, and I just want to say, God bless the Fiend Bray Wyatt. And Mick Foley. Yes. I love Mick Foley. Thank you for putting over somebody young, unlike all these other older guys that are getting over all the younger guys. Foley, I loved when I don't even remember who was the champion at that point. I think it was Maverick when they ran by him and he's like, "Oh God, well, I'll get you next time." Whatever he said.
Yeah,
I love how they're doing Bray Wyatt. Again, is his name Bray Wyatt or is he the Fiend?
I think he's
Bray
just
Wyatt.
the Fiend.
I think he's just the
is
Fiend.
He gonna wrestle in the mask?
I think he is. I think he is.
Oh my God, that's got to be tough. That mask is just freaking terrifying.
No, okay. So the booking on Bray Wyatt, it's the only thing that I care about. It's the only thing I care about.
It was the only thing I liked from Raw. In 3 hours was him showing up. I love the way they do again, going back to production.
Like the shutdown or like,
yes, it's not like Undertaker where everything just goes black. It's like, oh no, there's something going on. The power's going out, whatever. He shows up in that freaking mask with a spotlight on. And he didn't just give him the Sister Abigail. He gave him the freaking mandible claw, which I would love to see him start using as like a secondary finisher. I love everything they're doing with him. I don't trust WWE at all. They've done everything so well with him in this reboot. I just hope they don't screw it up, but I have almost no confidence. Bray will do it as well as he can, but he can only work with what they give him because they won't let you go off script. So I just hope they don't screw him up, but I loved him murking. I almost wish he would have given him the Sister Abigail, but poor Mick can't.
He can't. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say Mick can't sell a Sister Abigail. No, he can't. He can't do that.
You got to be athletic to take that the right way. Yeah. But that was the one thing that I loved about Raw, and I hope he kills Finn. It's as much as I love Finn.
I think he is.
Absolutely. He needs to. But what they need to do is it needs to be the demon.
Yes, I agree 100%.
The demon needs to be broken. The demon
Yes.
needs to be broken 100%. And
It can't just be a
please,
cheat code.
No. It's got to be.
Have him fight Finn on Raw next week or
There
something.
you go.
Then have him fight the demon at SummerSlam. Have him destroy him too.
Definitive
Finn
loss.
goes away for a while. Yes.
Yeah, get the definitive loss.
But no, I'm with you, Kevin. I have zero faith in WWE doing this Bray Wyatt thing correct. I stand by what I said. I don't know if it was I think it was last week. I'm a little concerned about how the Fiend translates to actual wrestling matches. And what I would love for them to do, even though I don't know that it would really present well, I almost think you somehow need to have that match not literally in the dark, but
Like
kind
lower
of
light.
Yeah, they need to do, because if you just have all the arena lights on and it's just, I mean, the mask is terrifying, but when it's all lit up and it's literally just Bray Wyatt wearing this mask, I don't think that's going to really present well. I wonder if there's some way they can somehow have the match be kind of in at least all the arena lights off and just have like the spotlights on in the ring or something like that. Maybe that helps, but I don't think you can have the entire arena lit up for that match. I think it's going to look weird.
Do like what they used to do for Kane. Like remember back in the day with Kane? Yeah, they would kind of blot out the ring with like kind of like a red light. They did it for, I think they did it for like the first 2 or 3 months that Kane was around. Like they did not have him in broad daylight.
I think when he fought Mankind at Survivor Series the month after he debuted at the Montreal Screwjob, I'm pretty sure he wrestled in the red light. Yeah.
No, I'm positive. I think, and maybe even after that for a while.
Yeah.
It was a little bit before they finally were like, hey, let's put the lights on this guy.
What would even be better is if Finn shows up as the demon and gets squashed.
That's what I want to see.
But all I want to say is don't put bugs in the ring like you did at WrestleMania, for crying out loud.
Yeah, please don't. That was the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen.
One other thing I want to say before we get to SmackDown real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just like the difference is you have these legends show up in WWE and it makes us long for the old days and hate what we have now. Maybe that's too strong a word, but be disappointed in what we have now. Whereas AEW, everything feels fresh. Chris freaking Jericho, who's been wrestling, I think, for 29 years now, feels fresh. Cody, we've known Cody forever. He feels fresh. Mm-hmm. Dean Ambrose is now John Moxley. He feels fresh. Like we've seen all these guys forever.
Yeah.
Chris Daniels, like we've seen Sabian. We've seen a lot of these guys for a long time. It's not like they're all just nobodies, but it just feels new and it feels fresh. Whereas in WWE, nothing feels that way. That was the big thing that stuck out to me about the whole reunion thing.
Kind of going back, we were talking about Kane a minute ago. Luchasaurus. He's a modern day Kane. He's a modern day Kane. But the thing is, he's a better modern day Kane.
Yeah.
He can crack jokes. He can cut a promo. He's funny, but he can also be serious.
Athletic is all get out. Like he's insane.
God, the guy's amazing. But no, that's everything you just said, Kevin. That's actually everything I felt about that I didn't realize I felt. Like, I love Stone Cold. Bray Wyatt, Stone Cold. I actually like seeing Melina there, but the whole thing was ruined by making her part of a comedy bit as a ref. That's disrespectful. Caitlyn, who was also there, who I was like, dude, Caitlin's back. Is she going to do anything?
Bring her back. She was so
she was in the Mae Young Classic. Earlier this year, and
that's
she did great.
That's why I hoped she was going to come back full time, but she's not.
I'm done with WWE and their BS. That said, I guess we can. I will say. Oh no, I take that back. There was one other thing. RVD. I love the meme that came out the next day where it was like, oh, when you're so high that you show up on Raw instead of Impact, which is where RVD is supposed to be. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about SmackDown. SmackDown had some announcements. I think SmackDown was when we got most of the announcements. And there's some good storytelling that I hear is coming there. I didn't actually get to pay as much attention to it as anybody else probably did. But Kev, I'm gonna let you and Sean kind of give me your ideas on how y'all feel about some of the WWE title match announcement and the SummerSlam, the women's match for SummerSlam that's been announced, all the good stuff, really.
So I think overall,
Mhm.
way better than Raw because it actually focused on what's actually going on, and SmackDown more often than not is better than Raw. I think Kofi versus Randy is the perfect matchup.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
like that it was Kofi saying, Randy, come get you some, instead of Randy saying, I want a shot at the title. No, Kofi was like, no, hell with you. Come get you some. I don't care. Let's go. There's so much history there going back to the whole stupid thing. I don't even remember. Was that kayfabe or was Randy pissed about something?
I think he was. That was legit.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was legitimately like, because that the story that I've always heard, and I've heard this from multiple people, and they all say the same thing, was basically that he didn't sell I think he didn't sell the RKO or something correctly or something like that, or he was out of position for something, and basically as a result of that, and this is actually not even just a Randy Orton thing, John Cena's done this before too, but basically he was pissed off and he basically went to Vince and essentially got Kofi's push killed.
That's what happened. Shoot, that happened 23 years ago with Shawn and Vader.
Yeah.
Like if you go back to that SummerSlam match, Vader messed something up. I can't remember if it was I don't think it was a super kick, but he messed something up. Shawn got super pissed, like kicked him in the head for real.
Yep.
And then after that, Vader was a joke after that, which is just don't even get me started on that.
Oh yeah, no, it's
biggest
usually
waste of talent ever.
It's a sad thing to say, but usually you always have someone who's like, the guy, or like a top guy, whether it's a babyface or a heel. You will probably find a lot of burials in their wake. Triple H was bad about it. Shawn Michaels.
And that's when Shawn was just an absolute dick back then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell, maybe not Stone Cold so much, but I mean he
did take his ball and go home. That one time.
Stone Cold's problem is that he didn't want to put certain people over, which I kind of get why he didn't want to put Brock over, because it was like a quick build up. He wanted to do long term, but still, the whole point of the matter is just that that's kind of the sucky thing about a top guy, is that they're usually going to bury somebody. They're where they are because they buried people along the way, and that was kind of the whole thing with Kofi. That's why this match is like such clearly they patched things up since then, because I've seen them hang out with each other and they seem cool, but and that's outside of kayfabe, but whatever. But what's supposed to be going on here with this match? Like, are there any stipulations going on here, or we just got the match?
Just the match so far. I think this is a good win to, not that he needs it, but like I said last week, I've never felt like Kofi throughout this title reign was ever in danger for 1 second of losing his title.
Yeah.
This is the first time that I feel like he could Randy's a 13-time champ, I think.
Actually, I think he's 13, maybe 14.
Literally, all it takes is one move and he wins the title, period. Now, I don't think they put the strap back on him, not to spoil our prediction show in a couple of weeks, but like I'm pretty sure this is a big win for Kofi is what I think. And I think it's the perfect opponent for him because they've got the history, real and fake and whatever. I think it's great. I'm so excited for that. I think they'll do great in the ring together.
Sean, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
I mean, Kevin took the words right out of my mouth. I think it's the perfect match. That's not to say it'll be a great match. I think it'll be a good match, but it's the match that it just makes the most sense.
Right.
It'll be a good showcase for Kofi. I wouldn't be surprised to see Orton win, but I don't think he's going to. But I'm just glad that WWE is like paying attention to its own history, and they're not trying to come up with some new storyline of why do these two not like each other. Like, it's already written. You've got to play off of that. So I'm glad they're doing that. It should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Did they I thought I saw something somewhere. Did they do any follow up with Bray and and Finn Balor or anything? Have they done any more follow up?
They made the match official. Bray in the Firefly Fun House, whatever it's called, as Bray, not as the Fiend, accepted the match, which I liked.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is official at SummerSlam. Finn was in the ring, and we all know he's wanting to take time off after this. So I hope they do just throw him to the wolves and let Bray kill him. But they finally made the match official.
Okay. So that I thought I saw something along those lines of something about Bray. So we know we have an official match. So we're good there. Hopefully it's good. Let me ask you this then. Now we also know because we got Charlotte. Charlotte's on SmackDown. How did this whole Trish Stratus thing come into play? That's another thing I missed.
So you give us a pretty much dream matchup of Ember versus Charlotte, and then you have it end in 30 seconds with a distraction roll up, and Ember gets the win. Which I'm happy Ember got the win. She's going to SummerSlam to fight for the title.
Hold on, run it back.
Exactly.
I gotta ask a question. I have to ask a question. I feel like I'd be doing us and the audience, the listeners, a huge disservice if I didn't ask this question, but how many times are we gonna keep getting these, oh, it's a roll-up, victories? Like why can't somebody just win decisively?
why can't you, if someone comes out that you might have a match with or have beef with, why can't you just ignore them? Or if the music hits, why can't you just ignore it? I get it, it's scripted, I know that, but it's the dumbest. It's such and such has been the tag team champions or the intercontinental champion or whatever. It's like, a distraction roll. Every time somebody comes out, it's a distraction roll up finish. It's so stupid.
Well, it just seems like WWE is so afraid of giving person A clean, decisive win over person B at, the damage, so to speak, it'll do to person B, which A is stupid to begin with, and B is even more stupid when you think of how little wins and losses even mean in the WWE. Like, none of it makes sense. I don't get it.
I mean, okay, so my biggest problem with this is that, okay, so Charlotte's clearly not involved in the match for the women's championship between Bayley and Ember Moon. So Charlotte is, what is she, an 8, 9, 10-time women's champ now? Or something like that?
I want to say 8.
It's getting up there, yeah.
It's like, yeah. It might, I think it is 8. I think it might be 9, but I think I'm going to lean on 8. But she is not going to stand. She doesn't stand to lose anything if Ember Moon gets a decisive victory over her. Because, okay, now you got to take care of Ember Moon because you got to make her look legitimate. Because I guarantee you, and I didn't even see this match, but I guarantee you, I can tell you the first thing that probably came out of either Corey Graves or Byron Saxon.
9 times. She's
9-time champion. Okay, so a 9-time women's champion.
10 if you count NXT.
10-time women's champion as far as I'm concerned. Because I know Ric Flair has more than 16 titles. He actually has closer to like 20-something.
19 or something.
Yeah, I think his is actually closer to 20-something. It's like 21 or he has more than 20 because neither here nor there. Anyway, it's all way off base. But my thing is, Ember Moon, I can tell you, I just have the sneaking suspicion the first thing that came out of any one of those 3 guys on commentary was, oh, she stole a victory. Ember Moon stole a victory.
The one thing I will say that I loved was after the match, I can't remember exactly how it happened, but Bayley got in the ring and Ember comes off the top rope with an eclipse to her. And then she gives Charlotte one also, or vice versa. I forget what the order was, but she stood tall over both of them, and I freaking loved it. I tweeted that night, I don't know how she does that move. That is the most physically impressive wrestling move I have ever seen, men, women, any era. I've never
never botches it.
I don't know how she does it. I cannot and it's also, give credit where it's due, it's also a lot on the opponent being in the right position and selling it and everything. But the fact that she flips off the top rope and gives a freaking Stone Cold Stunner is insane. And I really hope, I've never been the biggest Bayley fan. I love Ember. I think she's been so underutilized since she came up, and I know she was hurt and everything, but I would love it if she wins the title at SummerSlam.
I think, you know what, I'm going to save it for the prediction show.
Right.
You already know it. Screw it. I'm going to say it now. I want Ember to win. Ember deserves to win. Ember Moon has been wasted, I tell you, on the main roster. And I'm not just saying this because, I mean, technically, so is Asuka, so has Kairi Sane, so has, hell, name any man or woman who has been called up to the main roster for the most part, maybe with the exception of Ricochet and maybe Aleister Black lately. And maybe Heavy Machinery. But for the most part, they definitely for damn sure didn't waste Lacey Evans. But I mean, Ember Moon has been so mishandled in so many ways, and I'm like, she is the war goddess. She is the She-Nom. She was booked as a force of nature in NXT, and she went to war with Asuka for the better part of months. So, I mean, hell, they booked her so strong that even when she lost the NXT women's title to Shayna Baszler, she didn't tap out. She had to be choked out. Like, that was how strong they booked her. And I'm like, y'all are booking her like she is the biggest rube in the history of wrestling. But at least if she got one over on Bayley and Charlotte and stood tall over him, that is a far cry better than anything they've done with Ember up to this point. So I'll give them that. I'll give WWE credit where credit's due. But I like y'all. I don't have faith in them to do the right thing. I'll have faith in them to do the right thing with Bray. I have faith in them to do the right thing by Ember Moon. I don't have faith in them to do the right thing. By God. I thought I wanted the club back. I thought I wanted the Bullet Club in WWE, but I don't anymore.
You want the Bullet Club. You don't want the OC. That's
exactly. I want the Bullet. Dude, it should be Finn. First off, you know what? Here, tell you what. Give me the book. Give me the book. Vince, give me the book. I will write everything you need right now. I can tell you exactly what you need. This is what WWE needs. You want to book the OC. God, dumb name. Anyway, you want to book that dumb name stable. This is how you do it. You let AJ run the OC. God, it just hurts to even say. You let him run it, and then basically have them, like, make them strong. I'd book them strong. They start coming out, doing like they did in Japan. Just start beating people down for no reason. People doing a segment backstage. Boom, beat them down. And then they start bringing in more people. They start bringing in, hell, you know what? You really want to help yourself out? You want to actually build up the gravitas of the OC? You want to build it up? I'll tell you what, here's what you do. You get a guy like Drew McIntyre.
Oh, my God.
You bring in Drew McIntyre. Because the thing about the Bullet Club is the Bullet Club has had so many leaders. Bring in Drew McIntyre. Let him play second fiddle to AJ for a little while. But this is where things turn. Book him just let him run as a stable. But after a while, Drew stops taking AJ's garbage and turns on him, and the next thing you know, he takes AJ out of the mix, brings back Finn Balor after he's been off for a few months.
Yep.
And then, boom, you got the damn Bullet Club the way it should be. And AJ can still be there, or maybe he could be on his outs and have his baby face turn, because I think it would be fitting, because AJ Styles took the Bullet Club away from Finn Balor in New Japan. It's only fair that Finn Balor take whatever this is from AJ Styles. I'm just throwing that. Plus, I miss the days, and I know most people know this, but back in the day, Finn and Drew used to work together, or have worked in the past together in matches, even if it was wrestling each other or teaming up, whatever. So, I mean, it would just be nice to see. Just throwing it out there.
I agree. You got to book them like the NWO was at the beginning, where they just show up. They don't need to spray paint people and stuff, but they just show up and they just murder people, and you actually feel like they're a threat. Right now, they don't feel like a threat at all. Like you said, they just ran away from a bunch of old guys. So yeah,
they have to be terrorizing people. Do y'all know how tall Luke Gallows is? That mofo is 6'7"
or something.
I think he's like 6'8" or 6'7", something like. The dude is freaking huge.
Yeah.
Why is he not bodying Kevin Nash? Right. Why is he not bodying it? Like, first off, Kevin Anderson and Luke Gallows on their own are a force to be reckoned with. They should be just going out and just beating people up. But that's neither here nor there. You know what? It sounds like SmackDown was infinitely better than Raw by a wide berth.
It's a low bar, but yes.
So there's a couple other things I want to talk about.
Go ahead, hit us.
So you had this whole, and it's, as Brandon Stroud called it, the Shawn Michaels problem, and it's nothing against Shawn, but you had this whole
Lord.
so Sean's on Miz TV for some reason. Dolph comes out and starts bad mouthing Miz. Sean says, "You're just a wannabe Shawn Michaels," which is 100% true. And then Miz tells Dolph, "Okay, we'll do something." And Dolph pretends like he's going away. He goes to punch Shawn because Shawn's standing in between Miz and Dolph. Shawn ducks. Dolph punches Miz. Miz falls down. Shawn punches Dolph in the face, stupidly goes over to check on Miz, who's probably been punched in the face in kayfabe literally a million times. And as he turns around, he gets a freaking brutal super kick to the face. Shawn's knocked out. The problem, as much as I loved the segment, because again, like I said, Shawn's my favorite of all time. First off, if he can't go out like he did in that damn Saudi Arabia match, or that redacted match, I should say.
That match didn't happen.
When poor Triple H tore his pec, and Undertaker and Kane can't like even walk without falling down.
Kane got his mask knocked off.
Yes.
Michaels punched Kane's mask off.
But the problem is, Shawn's not going to wrestle again. Like, the whole thing is with his retirement is he said he wanted it to mean something. Like, he doesn't want to be like Ric Flair, who has 17 retirement matches and shows up in Japan or TNA or wherever. Like, he did this as a one-off thing, kind of because he almost treats it as like like an Infinite Earth thing or whatever.
Right. Like a multiverse, yeah.
A multiverse kind of thing where it's like it's not even in kayfabe that he didn't even really wrestle because it's in Saudi Arabia, so who cares?
It doesn't count.
He's not going to come back and wrestle Dolph as much as I think he could still go, and I'd still like to see it. But the other thing is all the reports are saying Miz and Dolph aren't fighting at SummerSlam, so why the hell is this even happening? I just don't understand. It was a great segment, but if it's not leading to something, I don't know why it even happened. It's teasing a dream match that'll never happen and a realistic match that apparently isn't happening. And those two, Miz and Dolph, have so much history. All those years they fought over the Intercontinental title and had a lot of great matches. But if they're not fighting at SummerSlam, why the hell did this even happen?
That's the question I'm asking, because it sounds like all three of them somehow simultaneously tripped over bad booking at the same time.
Yeah,
like it's just bad. It's just bad. There's nothing good going on here, and I'm not feeling it. Sean, do you have any thoughts on any of this?
Well, again, I didn't see it. I mean, I saw it after the fact, but when I was reading Best and Worst of SmackDown, when I first got to that part, my first reaction was, holy crap, Michaels is fighting Dolph at SummerSlam now? Like, okay, I can get behind this.
This might be a match.
And then the more I read it, then Brandon went on to say, which, obviously it's going to be Dolph versus Miz, but everybody wants to see Dolph versus HBK now. And I'm like, well, crap. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Like, why don't just shoehorn, as much as Dolph and Miz could probably put on a good match. Like, this just came out of nowhere. And what exactly is their beef with each other? And yeah, I just don't care. I mean, I'm very torn on, do I really want to see Dolph versus HBK? It'd probably be very much like the Raw reunion. It probably wouldn't be a good match, but it would be a fun match and a match that seems like it should have happened outside of the whole Spirit Squad and DX thing. But like, they could pull it off. Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
But Shawn has to wear a wig if that match ever happens, because I can't handle Shawn without a ponytail. I just don't. I don't
so
like it.
Weird.
I just can't do it. But I will say, if Shawn didn't come out of retirement 5 years ago during the Daniel Bryan, Triple H, Randy Orton angle, where he helped train Daniel Bryan, and then he's getting involved in super kicking Daniel Bryan in Hell in a Cell and screwing him out of the title and handing it to Orton. If he didn't come out of retirement to fight one of his proteges in Daniel Bryan, he's not going to come out of retirement to fight
Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I just want to. I kind of want to rewind. Can't talk. Rewind. Because I got to thinking about something the whole time I was talking about bad booking, just weird booking situations. This is the difference between WWE proper and NXT. Because, thinking about the whole Bayley Ember Moon thing, thinking about this misfire with Shawn Michaels and Dolph Ziggler and The Miz, it made me think about something I saw in NXT yesterday. and that is Mia Yim versus Shayna Baszler program for the women's title at NXT Takeover in Toronto. And you know what they've been doing for this program? They have been booking Mia Yim doing things that no other opponent has thought about doing in regards to Shayna Baszler's entourage. Because this is Triple H booking this. Because Triple H is smart.
Yep.
So what has Mia Yim been doing? Has she been walking around looking like a mook? Looking like a rube? Smiling and mugging at the camera? She hasn't been doing any of that. None of that stuff that they have Ember Moon and everybody else doing. You know what she's been doing? She's been attacking Shayna Baszler's entourage. Like 2 weeks in a row, she has caught one of them slipping and beat the hell out of them. I even love the whole surprise motherfucker thing she did to Jessamine Duke. Like, she actually said it. I didn't understand it at the time, but she was like, surprise motherfucker. It just started.
That's awesome.
And like, but what she was doing is she was legitimately injuring them like I think she stuck Marina Shafir's arm or something in a car door and like slammed it. And I think she took Jessamine Duke's arm and slammed it in a locker door. And like, but it's like, oh, she's taking them down so they can't interfere in her match. They're going to be out of commission. Okay, keep doing this. Io Shirai did it, sort of, but she did it, like, recklessly and got her ass kicked. But that's the thing. All the more reason, if Triple H had the book and this was going on, we probably would have at least seen a triple threat. Yeah. Out of this whole, Miz, Shawn Michaels, Dolph Ziggler thing. We would maybe at least gotten some kind of a triple threat. Because what is Miz doing now? What is he even booked in these days?
He's just a talk show host. It's so disappointing.
Like, he's not even wrestling. He's not even wrestling, really. He's taking, like, the odd bump here or there. I just don't know anymore. I just don't know anymore with this. Like, what are they doing? What else was it that you had?
The only other thing I had, and this is really the only other thing on the show to talk about. They're doing it well. I'm just so sick of Shane McMahon, but I think they're building up to Kevin Owens actually ridding the WWE of Shane as a performer. I think that's what they're doing. I'm hoping Kevin's in the middle of a big push. But
would be nice.
Shane comes out and he's, you want to fight me? You're not going to fight me. You got to get through Roman Reigns, and I'm going to be the guest ring announcer, and Elias is the referee, and McIntyre is the enforcer outside the ring or something. But when it comes time for the main event, Kevin and Roman are like, well, we can't. Why are we fighting each other? Let's fight them. And they beat the hell out of Elias and Drew, and they finally get their hands on Shane, and it goes off the air with him taking a Superman punch into a stunner and then another stunner. Brandon Stroud called it the Steam Cold Stunner, which I think fantastic.
Okay.
So obviously they're fighting at SummerSlam. That was the other thing. They announced the match officially for SummerSlam, and I think if Owens loses, he has to quit WWE.
Okay.
Going to win. I think Shane's finally going to actually take a loss. The best in the world's finally going to get pinned, but hopefully it rids us of Shane as a in-ring wrestler for the foreseeable future is the only thing that I really hope comes out of that match. And no matter how much we hate Shane, if you're in a storyline with a McMahon, it means WWE thinks very, very highly of you. So that's a very good thing for Kevin Owens, although I'm completely sick of Shane McMahon.
Oh, no, I'm right there with you. I understand. Like, I've always understood that, like, Vince versus Stone Cold. Vince versus Triple H, Stephanie versus Lita or Trish or whoever. Typically if you're involved in some kind of program with them, Ronda with both Triple H and Stephanie. I mean, clearly they think highly of you. Yeah. Because they're putting themselves on the line for this. So I mean, clearly they believe in you if they do that. It's just that, man, not like this. Like this. Like I feel like the woman in the Matrix, in the first Matrix, just right before she dies, just not like this. Not like this. That's how I feel about it. I mean, I love Kevin Owens. I love what they're doing with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is kind of being the rowdy He's kind of like equal parts Rowdy Roddy Piper and Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's like he's kind of like the blue. He's the guy that's there for the blue collar guy, even though he's not a blue collar guy. He's not even close. He's supposed to be the everyman. He's supposed to be the guy that's the avatar for the audience. I get that. I love it. I'm here for it. It's great. Just please actually do something with it.
Yeah.
So I do like what they're doing. It reeks of trying to catch lightning in a bottle twice. They're clearly trying to recreate the whole Austin McMahon thing again, right down to the stunner. And I don't hate it, but it just comes off as very lazy to me. I do like the idea of Owens being a kind of face, like not the way he was a face when he first came back. Like that, exactly. You could tell that was not going to last.
Yeah, no, that was not real.
Sounds like he could play this whole everyman anti-hero face sort of long term. I mean, probably not as good, but similar to how Stone Cold did. And what Owens has going for him, not to body shame or anything, but he kind of looks like a Joe everyman. Like, I'm sure he's way better athlete than any of us could ever dream to be. But like, when you look at him, he just looks like Joe Schmo off the street. Like, it kind of works. I'm kind of digging the angle, but my God, I hope they don't drag it on too long. Just have him beat Shane, and that's it, and just have him disappear completely. Now, the only downside to that is if you're building this whole character on this anti-authority role, what do you do when you no longer have Shane to play off of? So as much as I want Shane gone, I don't know how this role plays out long term after that.
Yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. I just don't have faith. I just don't have faith in WWE I don't have faith in WWE to do anything that's right. Yeah. They won't. They never do. I guess. Do we have anything else? We have anything else that we want to get out there?
That was it for me. I don't know, Sean. You got anything?
I got one more thing. I wanted to talk about this earlier, and then I forgot. And then Kevin, I thought you were going to steal my thunder, but you started, and then you never quite got there. I'm going to get back to AEW for a second.
Okay.
I'm done with trying to keep saying that WWE should do this because they're never going to. AEW, with this new TV deal and all these people that a lot of, I guess, the typical WWE fan may not know from AEW, and they have a lot of names they're trying to kind of make household names. Mm-hmm. Forget WWE. AEW from October 2nd, start on that episode, give us a TV title.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
WWE is not going to do it. It just works better in AEW. It gives you, and I think they should also have, maybe not right away, I think they will eventually have some kind of an intercontinental, like a mid-card belt.
Right.
But I don't know that we need it yet. I'd almost rather just have the TV title. It gives you a reason to tune in. Not that you need a reason, but it gives you a reason to tune in. Every week there's going to be a title on the line, and it can be kind of what, not to blaspheme it too much, but kind of what the WWE is doing with the 24/7 title. Not that AEW is full of jobbers, but get those lower level guys on TV and give us a reason to root for them, give them something to do on TV. I think a TV title works perfect for AEW, and I think they should have that from episode 1.
Well, I can agree with that because I'm an old ECW head. ECW had 3 belts. You had the ECW World Heavyweight Championship, you had the ECW Tag Team Championships, and then you had the ECW Television title. There's only belts you had in that company. I guess technically you had the FTW belt, but it wasn't even really a real recognized belt. It was just a joke. It was kind of a gimmick belt. But that was what I loved about ECW, is that it was simple.
Yep.
You had main event title, mid-card title, tag team title. That's all you needed. And that's kind of what I want to see with AEW. Give me the we know we got the we've seen the AEW heavyweight championship.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful belt. Absolutely. It's the perfect mix of New Japan and NWA sensibilities with a belt. Also, I think you should... I mean, we know they got tag team titles coming because they're having a tournament for it right now. We know that there's a women's championship that's in the works. And we also know for a fact that other belts are in the works. Those aren't just the only belts. But if you're going to give me a belt, if you're going to give me... I think the TV title would definitely be that title that I would have for, like, everybody else. That's not in the main event picture.
Yep, I love it. That can be their Intercontinental title, just like
Yeah.
you're saying with
The more I'm
ECW.
thinking about it, you don't really need another title. That can,
No.
like Ernie
3
was saying,
belts,
go
or 5 if you
kind
do a
of-
women's and women's tag also.
right. Yeah, just have the world
Yeah.
title, have a TV title, and then a tag title and
Yeah.
a women's title, whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't think you need something in between. Not yet, anyway.
No.
I don't think we need something between TV title and
No, because you run the risk of turning into WCW or
Yes.
or even WWE back then. Because I remember WCW, you had the world title, you had the cruiserweight title, you had the TV title, you had the tag team titles,
US title,
the
the hardcore
US title, the hardcore. I was like, oh my god, we got too many damn belts, and it was just one show. It was just one show. So then, WWE no better. And I mean, granted, they had the decency to split the shows up, but even then, now nobody's getting anything.
Right.
So it's bad. I think at one point, WWE had a light heavyweight title and a European championship. It's just no. Matter of fact, even look at NXT. NXT, same thing. NXT heavyweight title. NXT women's title. North American championship.
Which is beautiful.
Beautiful belt.
Love that belt.
Tag team championships. Done. You don't need a whole bunch of belts. You don't really need a whole bunch of belts. And I'm
Because then they
hoping-
don't mean anything. When you
Right.
have 17 belts or whatever WWE has now, it doesn't. I might even be right there. I think it might be 13 or something. But they've got a lot of belts. It's like, and when one of your champs never shows up, it's just I don't know.
Actually, now I'm actually sitting here thinking about it right now. You may not be very far off from the mark. Yeah, because there's like what WWE title, Universal title, Raw Women's title, SmackDown Women's title, United States Championship, Intercontinental Championship, Raw Tag Team Champions, SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Cruiserweight title.
women's tag, 24/7.
Yeah, 24/7. Yeah,
That's 11.
Yeah,
11 belts.
that's 11 belts. So yeah,
And if
you want
it's
you
across
factor in
and it's-
NXT,
Yeah, and it's across men and women, so I get that kind of factors in,
Mm-hmm.
but still, it's too
and
many.
across 2 completely
Brands.
separate and different brands.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I don't know. I'm just no thank you. Yeah, no, I think AEW would be very wise to not go the route the WWE or WCW or even I guess not Impact wasn't that bad about belts.
X Division was awesome. Back
Yeah, I mean, you had because you had the tag, the women's, the Knockouts Championship. You had the X Division, you had the tag titles, all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, they were actually pretty low tech on belts. So yeah, just keep it that way. I just don't like a lot of belts. I don't like too many divisions. Just keep it simple. Don't even. I don't know. Yeah, I do. I think that we will, after All Out. I have a sneaking suspicion the closer we get to television, we probably will get that television title announcement. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
I would love
so.
That said, we got anything? I guess that's everything. I think that's
I'm good.
everything. I guess we can go ahead and cut the check. Everyone, if you have been listening to this, you've been enjoying this, you're like, man, I want to talk to those guys on Twitter. You should totally go follow us at Smark Shooters on Twitter. You can follow us there. You can also find this podcast on nerd901.com. Go check it out because you can also check out way more awesome content. You can actually find more content from us individually, from Kevin and Sean, two-player co-op. You'll find their content posted there. You'll find my content from Blur Without Fear posted there. You'll also find other awesome stuff, articles, blogs, just all kinds of amazing things you'll find there. And of course, you can listen to this on. We haven't gotten on iTunes just yet, but we are on. I think we're on Spotify. I think we're on Google, and pretty much any podcatcher that you can possibly pick up a podcast in. But make sure you subscribe to that podcast. Check it out. Also, go by the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to we gotta get up to 100. We want to try and get to 100 subscribers. That is the first goal. Get to 100 subscribers. So make sure you go and follow us on YouTube. I'm not gonna give out the channel URL because we don't have the custom one yet, but we want to get the custom one. Yeah, it's like I'm not doing that. What we're trying to do is get to the custom. We want to get to the custom URL. So help us do that by going to youtube.com and going and finding the Smark Shooters official YouTube channel. All you got to do is the same as with the podcast. Smark Shooters, you can see the video version of this, and if you're watching the video version of this, then this doesn't mean anything to you. But if it does, technically, because we do still want you to hit that subscribe button, so make sure you do that. Outside of that, I don't think we have anything else. I think those are all of the announcements. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to plug something, but it's late, and I'm not going to do it. So we'll just have to do it next time. Anyways, for Kevin, for Sean, for myself, Ernie, let's get up out of here. Good night and goodbye. Boing.